It's been days now since anyone in the group last saw a zombie. It's an unfamiliar peace that lets you feel relaxed for the first time in months. But when the group's mood lifts, its guard begins to fall. You and the others crack jokes while searching for fuel and other supplies in a small but seemingly deserted town. But it's far from deserted. Your carelessness allows a horde of zombies to separate the group, and you're brought crashing back to reality. Get the fuel you need and regroup with the others before it's too late. Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today we're going to be having a fun time playing Flick 'em Up Dead of Winter. Yeah, not Flick 'em Up Bananas, which you may have heard from a previous video. Sorry about that. No, we're playing Flick 'em Up Dead of Winter. Hope you guys are excited. Just like normal, I'm going to do the setup video here. If you'd like to just jump right to the playthrough, feel free to check out the videos after this one in the playlist. Also, just so you know, I am doing the 5th scenario for Flick 'em Up, and this 5th scenario is cooperative. 1 through 5 are cooperative, 6 through 10 are competitive, or they're team against team, or someone might be a betrayer and you don't know. So, anyways, we're playing the 5th one because it gives you the most different mechanics, and that's what I want you guys to see. Without further ado, let's jump in. We have a simple objective in this game. We need to find the 2 separated survivors and have 2 fuel in the camper. So we've got to find fuel and find the survivors. What we're going to first do for setup is shuffle the following tokens face down. There'll be 2 of the random survivors, so we're going to find them and they'll actually become part of our party. 2 fuels, 5 crossfire events, 1 health token, and 2 different weapons. One's a shotgun and one's a sniper gun. Here are the 12 tokens, and what we're going to do is we're going to flip these over, and then we're going to shuffle them up and put 2 per building. So we'll have to be searching through all these buildings, which is fun. I have to be good at flicking, we'll just put it that way. So I'm just going to flip these over, I'll shuffle them up, and then off screen, I will put 2 per building. We do have a special rule over here that says when you take a survivor's token, immediately add that survivor to your team. Place the survivor's figure in the building in which the token was found, and then the new survivor starts with 2 life tokens. So we're going to build our team as we play. We're going to start out with only 4, but at the end we should have 6. And then how this game ends is the survivors win if they complete their objective. The survivors lose if 2 or more survivors are dead, or if the round marker reaches the skull. And then there's also the if you ever run out of zombies, you automatically lose. You've simply been overrun. Here we have what the table is going to look like. So we've got all the different types of buildings. So we've got the RV, we've got the hospital, the police station, and then we're showing here that there's going to be 2 items per these buildings. So there's going to be 6 buildings that we most likely are going to have to go into, probably all of them, to find those 2 survivors and some fuel. We also have barrels. These black items are barrels. We've got boxes, and we've got lamp posts. And let's see, we've got a car and a truck. And then these are where starting zombies will be. And there's going to be one that's actually in the grocery store, which is awesome. I'll get to show you how that works when we go in there. We also have our 4 starting survivors, and they'll be starting over here by the RV. We have the 4 survivors we're going to be using, Anita, Gabriel, Thomas, and Kevin. And then this tells us, okay, they start with 2 life points. We've got different items that we could collect here. And then this tells us what day to start out on, where we should have our survivors' backpacks should have the day up on the top. So, for an example, this means this guy has not been activated. After he activates, he'll flip to the night phase. That's just letting us know that we should start them on the day because we're starting in the daytime. So if you think about this, we have 3 days to get what we need to get done. But each day is broken into a day and a night phase, so that's really 6 rounds. We also are going to have a total of 8 zombies that are in this bucket here. And this is if we ever run out of the 8 zombies in this bucket, we lose the game. This tells us how many new zombies will come out depending upon if it's day or night. So during the day, only 2 new zombies will come out. During the night, 4 new zombies will come out. Oh yeah. Because of the scenario we are playing, we have to shuffle up the crossroad cards as well as have these cards on handy for when we fight a zombie inside of a building. And I'll show you how that works during the playthrough. Here we have the 4 survivors that we're going to start off with. Kevin, Anita, Gabriel, and Thomas. Each one, except for Gabriel, because apparently I didn't want him to have 2 health. Each one will start with 2 health. There we go. So each one will start with 2 health, and they all have a starting weapon. We have just a regular handgun. we have a bat, and we have a knife. And each one is going to have a different type of flicking token that we'll use, which is kind of cool. So there's the knife. Here is for the gun. Here's for the bat. Yeah. And we might find other weapons that we can use, and they'll also work differently, but we'll go through those as we go through the playthrough. I know I spoke about this tub, but I also want you to see that on the back side here, you'll grab these specific tokens to remind yourself, okay, 2 will spawn in the day, 4 will spawn at night, and they've got different ones for depending upon the number. So like here's a number 5. You could put that in there if you want it. And then make sure I have a total of 8 zombies in there, and I got to make sure that there's still some in there. Otherwise, we're going to be overrun. Just to show you as an example, here's the police station, and here are the 2 tokens that we could potentially find in there. We're going to have to use this movement flicker, flick it inside of here, and then take actions to collect those. And we can only do that if there's no zombies in the police station as well. Here we have the RV. The RV is going to be our round tracker. On top of here, we're starting at day 3. Whoops, I had that at day 1. Wrong side. Day 3. And as we move down after each round, if we get to the skull, we'll lose the game. How we move this is each of our survivors have to take 1 turn. And when they take their 1 turn, after all of them have gone, we'll move this to the next spot. So they'll be at 2.5, then 2, all the way down to the skull. We also have to set up our starting survivors on the board, and this is where I'm going to start my survivors. I have Anita over here, who has a knife, followed by Thomas right here. He has a gun. Then we've got Kevin way over there. He also has a gun, and Gabriel, who has the bat. One thing I didn't talk about specifically is the zombie tower, and that's right here. That is also where we're going to have the bucket holding the other zombies. It'll stay here underneath this. But this potentially is going to have to move around depending on what we do on our turn, and zombies are going to move through this. And what happens is we'll put the zombie on top, lift this off, and then they will fall down from there and attack us. Kind of crazy, kind of cool. But you also want to set this up depending on how it's set in the specific scenario. That's all there is to it for setup. I can't get everything on the screen. My table's too big, but I do really like having more space on the table. It's more fun when you're trying to get that long flick. So hope that's okay. You guys can see the majority of it. You got your zombies here. We've got our survivors over here, and all of the buildings. There's a total of 6 buildings. Each one has 2 items we could potentially pick up. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys are excited for this playthrough. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do it.